Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Terrifying Tuesday. First and foremost, I do hope each and every one of you are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff because life is too short as is. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing each and every one of you every Monday through Friday, excluding busy days on my schedule or holidays. I won't be here on holidays. I got family stuff to do usually. And then also do look in the description box for more information on the film of the day, such as your basic synopsis, your starring cast, your director, the runtime of the cut I am watching, along with an MPAA rating, some trivia if I find anything worthwhile of mentioning, and then of course a link for a trailer or a scene in the movie. Which today I definitely have a link for a trailer. It was very easy to find a trailer for this one, so it is a little more well known one, but one that I feel doesn't get enough love or attention brought its way because I feel like it is a very masterful giallo, and it really it really is very well made, extremely well done. It follows the formula perfect to a T, and it delivers 100%. It is none other than 1972's What Have You Done to Solange? Yes, this is an amazing film. I love this giallo. It is not one of my favorites, but it is up there in the top. Like, I'd put it in top 25 easily because it probably top 20. Yeah, 20, because there's a bunch of other ones I like more than this, but giallos are a soft spot in my heart. I really like those. There is not enough of them released, in my opinion. They really should up the game with that. And I also like a good Placiotechi film, so please start releasing some of those. Arrow, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, all them guys. Jump on board and get some more giallos and some Placiotechi films, because those are awesome. Now that I got all that out of the way, let's see. Like I said, this one came out in 1972. This cut is running at an hour and 46 minutes. This is one of those, I imagine, that has suffered cuts along the way, mostly due to sexual content. Maybe because our killer jams knives into women's private parts, into their nether regions, and I'm sure some of the angles on that are cut. Along with there's a very nasty abortion scene in here that I could see getting cut a little bit. So depending on whichever release you have. As far as I know, this one here from Arrow Video is the 100% uncut. This is a standard issue pressed Blu-ray and DVD. It's got a little booklet in there that gives you a nice little bit of information. Reversible artwork, which I do really like this newly commissioned artwork. I'm just more of a fan of the old school original artwork, and that's how I usually roll. Very rarely do I go with the new artwork, but sometimes it happens. It does. Night of the Demons. I really like that new artwork. Well, it's not new anymore, but the newer artwork that Scream Factory made for that was beautiful. But back to this one. Like I said, this is from Arrow Video. As far as special features go, you get a interview with both stars, Fabio Testi and Karin Baal, and then you get a interview with one of the producers. It's got and then some still galleries. You get both the English and Italian versions of the film. This one was meant to be filmed in English, so there isn't a huge difference really between the two. There really isn't any difference other than the dialogue is delivered in Italian instead of English, like what it was meant to be. Now this one, like I said, both versions, and this one stars Fabio Testi, who plays our main guy. He is a teacher at this illustrious Catholic academy college where he is kind of abusing his powers. Not kind of, he is abusing his powers. He is dating one of his students. She is, yes, they do say she is 18 years old, but still, it's he is clearly taking advantage of a younger lady, especially someone that he is supposed to be a role model to, someone to look up to, because he is supposed to be their teacher first, not a lover. One of those kind of ordeals. And then you got Karin Baal playing his wife. She is a German actress. She is very, very well spoken in this movie. She does her job very well. I really like her performance. There's not a thing wrong with it. In her interview in the special features, it's very, very funny because she talks about the different languages that were being spoke on set. There was Spaniards, there was German, there was English, there was Italian, so on and so forth, and how a lot of the actors refused or just flat out didn't attempt to learn their lines in English, so they would have to have them told to them pretty much prior to the scenes. It would be a complicated thing, in my opinion. And she talks about how Fabio Testi was kind of an amateur actor. He didn't want to learn his English for his lines, and he would just move his mouth like he was talking, like that. And then, as far as I know, he was just doing it to Karin. Maybe it's one of those things, he didn't like her and he was giving her a hard time. It's really hard to understand, or I guess read the subtitles in those special features, because they picked the color pigment they chose for the subtitles blends in it blends into the background very much, and it is very, 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 very hard to read what they are saying, because you're getting two Italians and a German trying to tell you different stories of this film. So keep that in mind when you go to watch the special features. I forgot to mention that before. That's something that really I need to point out, because that was a little bit of a Debbie Downer for me. Kind of bummed me out. And now, who else do we got in here? We got Christina, Galbo, Joachim, Fuchsberger, and none other than the beautiful Camille Keaton, who we should know from I Spit on Your Grave fame. Very, very good actress in this. I'm a huge fan of all the few films of hers I've seen. I am a fan of her in them, because she always turns in a good performance, never lackluster. She always gives everything 110%, even if it's just something where she has a very small part in stuff like Raw Force, where she plays, like, I think, like a girl in a bathtub or something like that. Very small roles like that. She did a few of those, but she still gave it everything she had in those roles. And this was directed by none other than Massamo Dallamano, who went on to produce or make. They called this the Schoolgirls in Peril trilogy. This is part one to it. And, it's also What Have You Done to Your Daughters, and I forget what the third one is, but he directed What Have You Done to Your Daughters along with Solange, but the third one did not. I think it was Who Watched Them Die, or Who Watched Her Die, or something like that. He just produced that one, so he didn't do the whole trilogy, which they're movies based. They're it's a trilogy, but they're not based off of same characters. It's typical Italians cashing in on other movies' fames and trying to call it a series of films. It's pretty common with them in the old days. Now, what is this movie exactly about? Like I said earlier, Fabio Testi is a teacher a professor that is abusing his powers by dating one of his students. And while at the very, very, very beginning, you're out with him and his student, and you don't really know anything what's going on other than they're two lovers, and they're having a nice little spin around the pond or the lake or wherever it is they're at. They're having a nice little float about make out session. Fabio Testi keeps pushing for the action. She keeps like denying him. She at one point witnesses somebody stab somebody off of the banks, and Fabio Testi blows it off like, oh, it's just another one of her ploys into not wanting to give up the nookie for me, which you don't know at this point that he's married or anything like that. You don't know anything of that side of either one of those characters at this point. It is just the very, very beginning. So your judgment on these two characters is somewhat clouded. It makes you like them at the very, very beginning of it, but as time goes on, his girlfriend, I didn't really have any real problems with her, but as time goes on, Fabio Testi's character really shows how immoral he really is, how much of a hypocrite he is to the to everything that he says you should do. It's that classic "do as I say, not as I do" type mentality. So you definitely grow to not like him. I honestly I wanted to punch him. He is one of, especially uh the whole cheating thing, because when you finally meet his wife, she seems a little stern and she might be a little abrasive, but she was in the entire movie she was 100% by his side no matter what. Gave him every benefit of the doubt, even though everybody knows that he was cheating on her with this young girl. And now, as time progresses, you find out that our killer, somebody did really kill somebody, stab somebody on the side of the bank. They killed them. Fast forwarded a little bit, you find out that the girl was stabbed in her vagina with a giant blade. You have many shower scenes in here that are in between stuff. You get a couple shower scenes. But there's a whole thing where a priest is a fake priest is coming in and doing these confessions, and that's how this killer finds out about what happened. And it turned out that Solange, played by Camille Keaton, was part of this group of girls that they were going to sex parties and doing drugs and drinking and things of that nature. They were being immoral, if you would call it. But either way, Camille Keaton's character happens to get pregnant, and she goes to get a backdoor abortion. Very, very seedy, kind of sleazy thing, where the girls take her to this lady's house, and they pretty much hold her down, and while this lady shoves a giant needle up her hoo-hoo to basically kill the baby. It's very, very intense scene, filmed extremely well. That whole scene there, it is. It's very nerve wracking. It's very unsettling, but it is so well done. And you find out who our killer is. When you find out who the killer is, it's kind of predictable in ways, because it's like, well, if somebody did something like that to somebody that I love, of course I'm going to go beyond boundaries to get some revenge on them, especially if it was something very heinous done to them, like what happened to Solange. Now, as far as anything goes with the story, it's a little up and down in places. As far as the momentum goes, it slows down a number of times, but it at least stays idle. It doesn't go down below the idling phase to where you're just like feel like you're bogged down and bored with it. I never got that feeling once in this. I was pretty much entertained. I've seen this movie 3 times now, and I was entertained each and every time. I definitely give this one 2 thumbs up. Now, as far as a technical rating goes, all that stuff you add in, you got some great acting in there. Minus Testi, I think his acting was a little bit cardboard, but that's okay. I easily looked past it because the storyline was so well done. Everything else around him is perfect. The scenery is beautiful. I just love everything about old Italian horror films or giallo films or anything from the 70s and 80s from the Italians. I have a sweet tooth for it. So I'm going to give it a 4 on the technical side. And then as far as an entertainment side goes, this thing is solid packed. All that you add all that stuff in. You get a lot of nudity if you're wanting some sleaziness. You're going to get that in here. Like I said earlier, there's a couple shower scenes, which are very unrealistic, I would say, because there's these girls, they're playing around in there all naked and soaping each other up and smoking cigarettes and talking shit about people. That I mean the talking shit I believe, but the smoking cigarettes and soaping up and playing around, I don't know. But either way, it was entertaining, and I'll give that its due. I'm gonna say this is probably an 8 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 5 on the entertainment scale. This is 7 or an 8 out of 10 kind of movie, in my opinion. One that I recommend to all my hardened giallo fans. Definitely give What Have You Done to Solange a try. It is a masterful piece. All right, guys, love your faces. Tomorrow, I think I might be doing a documentary. I'm not 100%. It's up in the air, either that or I don't know. I got an Aussie flick that I need to review for you guys that I got a couple weeks ago, and then I also got another video nasty I can review for you. So I got stuff that I can do for you. I'm just trying to figure out perfect times for them. All right, guys. Love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.